Nancy, splendid timing. I just thought of something you can do for me. There's an old-fashioned printing press downstairs. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't taken a good look around down there yet.
Just go down the stairs and look for the monstrosity with the big wheel and the levers. You can't miss it. It came with the castle. My great-uncle Brendan had all sorts of gizmos and gadgets and machinery lying around. Anyway, when I saw the printer, I told Matt why not save some money and print the programs for the wedding right here. Problem is, Matt failed to get them done before he turned into the merry prankster, and since I have the mechanical aptitude of a bacterium... Would you mind finishing the job for me? You'd only have to print 3 more sheets, and the plate, the ink, the paper, everything you need is right there.
No problem.
Thank you, Nancy. You're the best. Did you print the rest of the programs?
Not yet, but I will.
Anything else to report?
I found these glasses in the fireplace in the nursery.
Those are Matt's. You found them in the fireplace?
Did you look there when you were searching for Matt?
Of course not. Why would we look in the fireplace? Matt never, ever took his glasses off. Mostly because without them, he can't see 2 feet in front of him.
Did he have an extra pair?
It's possible. Any normal person with eyesight as bad as his would have had 10 extra pairs. But how did those get broken? Oh, Nancy, maybe he truly is in trouble.
Let me do some more looking around before we jump to any conclusions. The glasses could still just be part of an elaborate practical joke.
You're absolutely right. Please find him, Nancy. I do so want to strangle him.
If Matt was staying in the nursery, where's his luggage?
Right there by his cot.
It's not there now.
But it was there, just last night. I remember seeing it when I peeked in to see if he'd finally decided to reappear. At least, I think I saw it last night. If it's not there now, perhaps Denal moved it, took it to storage or something. Because I know I saw it after Matt went missing. So it's around here somewhere, just like he's around here somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Did you know when you decided to hold your wedding here that half the place is pretty much rubble?
Oh, yes. Mind you, I didn't even know that Castle Malloy existed until Grandpapa died and I was notified that I'd inherited it. At which point the executor of his estate sent me pictures and assured me that despite its appearance, it was in fact habitable.
It looks like a bomb went off in it.
No doubt because one did. One summer night in 1944, this place, or half of it at least, just suddenly blew up. It was rumored that my great-uncle Brendan was working on something that involved a new kind of rocket fuel. He was killed along with his wife and young daughter. Apparently, they all just vaporized. Which, I guess, is why Denal claims the nursery, where the little girl spent most of her time, is haunted.
I'd better get to work.
Keep me posted.
I don't think I can jump that far. Alan Payne. That's kind of weird.
Hi, you must be Nancy Drew. I'm Kit Foley. Ignore the eye if you can. Walked into a door the other day. Looks worse than it feels. I'm a bit surprised you're still here, given the circumstances.
I was going to say the same about you.
I'm not about to leave Kyler here by herself. Until she comes to her senses, I'm staying put.
What do you mean, comes to her senses?
Matt isn't playing a practical joke, and he hasn't been kidnapped by fairies. He got cold feet and left. It's as simple as that.
Have you told Kyler?
No, I haven't got the heart. Or the guts. Take your pick. I mean, he loves Kyler, but she can be a handful. And he's no pushover either. Their relationship is so tempestuous, it scares him. She thinks once he makes a real commitment, everything will be fine. But he's not so sure. So he bailed.
Without saying anything to her?
I'm sure he'll contact her in another day or two. In the meantime, she's in a raging state of denial, and I, for one, don't see any harm in allowing her to stay that way. I seriously doubt he walked out on her for good. It's just that for Matt, marriage is way too much, way too soon.
If you and Matt are best friends, how come he didn't make you his best man?
Matt felt like it would be a good move for him politically if he asked this guy he knows from work, Alan Payne, to be his best man, and I said fine, don't worry about it, no big deal.
When or how did you realize that Matt had disappeared?
Kyler and I went for a walk, came back, and the next thing I knew, Kyler was saying Matt was nowhere to be found.
Where did you last see him?
In the nursery. He always seemed to be in the nursery fiddling with things. Whenever I'd tease him about it, he'd always give me this impish little grin like he was up to something. When I checked the nursery and saw that Matt's suitcase and backpack were gone, it finally dawned on me that he had left and he wasn't coming back. Of course, by that time, Kyler had convinced herself that he was simply playing one of his practical jokes, and I couldn't bring myself to burst her bubble, so I didn't.
How come you sound so American?
Because I am American. My father's VP of International Sales for Krollmeister Incorporated. The company transferred him to London 15 years ago. I've pretty much lived there ever since, I just can't seem to pick up the accent.
It looks like you're drawing something. Are you an artist?
Me? Not hardly. I'm with a real estate development company. These are just preliminary sketches for a couple of projects we're working on. In other words, I'm doing homework.
Residential real estate or commercial?
Mostly residential. And let me tell you, we'd have a field day with attractive land like the one this castle sits on. Ocean view, easy commute to Donegal, bedrock foundation, readily accessible groundwater. That bog's a bit problematic, but a little sand, a little gravel, a little landscaping, voila! A cluster of 6, maybe 8 luxury homes amid a park-like setting that would sell like lightning.
I'll see you later, okay?
Drop by anytime.
Did you finish the programs?
Yep. But I noticed that they say the best man is someone named Alan Payne. If Kit is Matt's best friend, why isn't Kit the best man?
Matt said that's the way Kit wanted it. He got here early too. But when Matt vanished, Alan was certain that Matt was playing a joke and refused to be the butt of it. So he went back to London, saying he'll reappear only when Matt does and not a moment before. You know, perhaps you should give Alan a call. 0044-020-7946-0481. He may have seen something while he was here that could help you find Matt. You'll have to use the phone down the road at the inn, however. My cell phone gets absolutely no reception here.
I'll catch you later.
Good luck.
Where are those lights in the tower coming from? Wonder what that crow's doing in there. Ah! pretty big step. What is that?
Hello?
Hi, Ned, it's me.
Hey, Nancy. How come you're not calling from your cell phone?
Well, let's just say you were right about driving and using my cell phone. Sort of.
You were in a car accident?
Yeah, but you heard me hang up, so I wasn't really talking on the phone. I just had it in my hand. Even though I did wind up in a ditch. I'm fine, but the rental car and my cell phone are pretty much history.
You drove into a ditch?
Something that kind of looked like a woman and kind of didn't ran across the road right in front of me. I had to swerve to miss her, or it, or whatever.
What do you mean it kinda looked like a woman?
It had all this long, wild hair, and it was wearing something flowing, like a dress or a robe. But its face, it just didn't look human.
Here we go again. You're in Ireland, not 2 hours, and what happens?
A mystery falls into my lap, a harmless mystery. Don't worry, Ned,
You're
I'm
fine. Right.
Did I mention that Matt Simmons, the guy Kyler came here to marry, is missing?
The groom is missing?
She thinks he's just playing a practical joke.
Wait a minute. You and Kyler are there by yourselves?
No, Matt's best friend is here too. So's the caretaker, Mr. Delaney.
This guy Matt thinks disappearing less than a week before his wedding is funny? I'm no expert on marriage or anything, but I don't think that's a good sign.
Kit Foley, Matt the groom's best friend, has a black eye, which he says is because he walked into a door.
When a guy says that, it usually means he walked into some other guy's fist.
If that's true, that means Kit is lying, which makes Matt's sudden disappearance even more disturbing.
It'd make me wonder, that's for sure.
Every once in a while, I hear this weird wailing sound, but I can't tell where it's coming from.
Has anyone else around there heard it?
I don't want to say anything to Kyler about it because I'm afraid it'll freak her out. And I'm not sure I trust anything Mr. Black Eye has to say.
What about the caretaker?
Haven't asked him.
He must spend a lot of time around there, caretaking, so if anyone has heard anything weird, I should think it would be him.
I'd really like to get into the tower of Castle Malloy.
What's stopping you?
The lack of stairs, for one thing.
There are no stairs?
They were destroyed along with half the castle in a mysterious explosion during World War II. Apparently the guy who lived here then, Brendan Malloy, was some kind of mad scientist.
Why do you want to get up in the tower so bad?
I saw some strange lights coming from inside it. I can't help but think it might have been Matt.
Why would he be up in a tower?
Maybe that's where he's hiding out.
You just said there's no way to get in.
I know, but maybe...
He learned how to fly.
You're not helping, Ned.
Sorry, Nancy.
I found Matt's broken glasses in the fireplace of the room he was staying in.
What would somebody's glasses be doing in a fireplace?
What's really disturbing is Kyler says Matt is pretty much blind without his glasses. I didn't admit it to Kyler, but I'm getting worried.
Relax. Because you know what? If I wore glasses and if I were into playing practical jokes on people, I'd do just that. I'd break them and leave them someplace really weird just to freak out whoever finds them.
You're probably right.
But why don't you give that fireplace a real good look, just in case?
I better get going.
All right. Talk to you later.
Hello? Is this a sales call?
No, Bess, it's me, Nancy. I'm calling from a phone in Ireland.
Nancy, hi! George, get over here. It's Nancy. Hi, Nan. You'd better be having a great time there because you are missing an incredible time here. The Dunhills throw the best parties. You should see all the awesome pool toys they've got. And everywhere you look, some cute guy in swim trunks is standing over a barbecue grilling something. I'm in heaven.
Sounds fabulous. Be sure to wish Kathy and Carrie a happy birthday for me.
You know, one person I haven't seen is Ned. Yeah, me neither.
He's there somewhere. I talked to him earlier.
So, what's going on with you?
Just as I got to the castle, something that may or may not have been a banshee ran across the road in front of me and made me drive into a ditch.
You saw a banshee? That's bad luck, isn't it? Not if you see a banshee. If you hear one, it means someone's going to die. Wait a minute. Why was it running? Can't banshees fly?
Bess, what I saw just looked like a banshee. I'm sure it really wasn't a banshee, although it did just kind of vanish. And when I talked to Kyler, I found out that her husband-to-be has vanished.
What do you mean, vanished?
Matt came to Ireland with Kyler and his best friend Kit, but now he's nowhere to be found. Kyler is convinced he's pulling a prank.
A prank?
Apparently, he's a pretty big practical joker.
More like a pretty big moron. Incoming. Check it out. Oh my gosh.
Guys? Hello? Bess? George? Anyone?
Sorry, we were hopelessly distracted by a truly amazing set of washboard abs.
Whoever ran out in front of my car dropped a handmade doll that looks like the missing groom.
A handmade doll? That's kind of freaky. Dolls are freaky, period. Who around there would be making dolls?
Kyler thinks I saw Matt, and the doll was just part of the practical joke he's playing.
Let me see if I got this straight. The guy thinks disappearing less than a week before his wedding, causing cars to run off the road, and making creepy dolls is funny? Not exactly best Marvin marriage material, is he?
I found a draft of the vows Kyler is planning to say at her wedding.
Oh, custom-written vows are so sweet.
Problem is, these vows have the words, "What am I doing? This is wrong," scrawled beneath them.
That can't be good. How do you know she was talking about the wedding? Maybe she was just frustrated because she couldn't put her feelings into words.
That's true.
Did you ask her about them? What's the point? If she is having second thoughts about getting married, she probably won't admit it, seeing as she's failed to mention it before.
That's true, too.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't suggesting that Kyler is behind Matt's disappearance, are you?
I admit that doesn't make much sense.
But it is a possibility. You two are terrible.
I'd better get going. You guys are wearing sunscreen, right?
Yes, Nancy.
Just checking. Bye.
Hello?
Yes, hi. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Castle Malloy. I'm Kyler Mallory's maid of honor.
Yes, I remember that name. Has Matthew finally put an end to that ridiculous prank of his?
No, I'm afraid he's still at it. But if you have a second, could I ask you some questions?
It should be a minute or two before my ride gets here. What's on your mind?
Do you have any idea where Matt may be hiding?
None. And if what you're really asking is, am I in on his little joke? The answer to that is absolutely, unequivocally, no. I detest practical jokes.
Do you remember Matt saying anything odd, anything that in hindsight might suggest where he went?
Nothing that I recall. Although he did say a lot of things. Not to me, but to Kyler and that other chap, Kit. And he said them quite loudly, I might add.
What do you mean?
The evening before Matt disappeared, he and Kit had a terrible row. I couldn't make out exactly what was being said, but they both sounded very angry. Furious, I dare say. In fact, the next time I saw Kit, he was sporting a black eye. And the next morning, Matt and Kyler had a go at each other. Nothing physical, mind you, and once again, I couldn't make out what was said, but I promise you, They were quite put out with each other. I was more than happy to bid the lot of them farewell, though I imagine I'll be returning to the castle before too long. Matt is bound to find his prank as tedious as everyone else does eventually. I must be off. Nancy, it was a pleasure venting to you. Hopefully before too long we shall meet in person. Cheers.